Good evening and welcome to this Halloween edition, October 31st, 2016 of Off the Map Live. The last show, we came to you from Paradise to Jiminy Peak. If you caught that, it was with David Gordon and Chris Jones. It was a brief one. I might have had too many beers before. I don't know. I haven't watched it and I really don't remember much of it, but it's probably available soon on our YouTube channel. We are brought to you by that very same Paradise Tattoo Gathering that we just finished up last weekend. Last weekend? Weekend before?
It was like
2 months ago?
I think it was like two an entire month of that.
I think a lifetime ago, but just yesterday, the Paradise Tattoo Gathering happened. It was an amazing, inspirational event. I pretty much got that from everybody that was there. Yeah?
It's pretty inspirational.
Josh is my new Ed McMahon. Yes! We're going to have some of the webinars available for tattooers out there. If you didn't get to the event or watch them live, keep an eye out on tattoonnow.com/webinars for new ones from people like Marcus Lenhard, Laura Jade, possibly Guy Aitchison. It depends on how well it came out. I don't know. Some other folks. We're also brought to you by Reinventing the Tattoo, now in digital form. You can't get the book anymore, but you can get it at reinventingthetattoo.com. It's always updated. It has guest chapters by people like Russ Abbott, Nick Baxter, Don McDonald, Megan Jean Morris, Halo, and a whole bunch more. It gets updated all the time, so get it now. Hey Gabe, what's this note that says new video explaining the app coming up? Oh, sorry, there's notes in here that I don't understand. We're brought to you by Dax McClellan and his realistic portrait system. Check out tattooingportraits.com for more information about that. Blue to Digital, they are the makers of the tattoo release forms application that we use every day here at Off the Map Tattoo. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty cool. It's an iPad app, gets rid of all the paper, saves all your client information for you so you can bring it up. Version 2.0 is due out soon. Get yourself a copy of that. It'll make your shop run smoother. And as always, Off the Map Tattoo, where we are right now at our brand new theater location, Cottage Street, 84 Cottage Street, Easthampton, Massachusetts. We also have a location in Grants Pass, Oregon, and Cervignano, Italy. So if you're anywhere near any of those, stop by and visit. Even if you're not, take a drive. It'll be worth it. On our last episode, as I said, we talked with David Gordon and Chris Jones, and on this episode, we will be speaking with David Kassan and our very own Gabriel Londis. You ready?
Ready.
He says he's ready. He looks nervous. I don't think he's nervous. Maybe he is a little nervous. Be nice to him in the chat room. Speaking of the chat room, it's not too late. Share this with your friends. Write in your comments in the comment section, and they'll get translated to this little box here, and maybe I will actually comment on them. If you have an idea for any future episodes, people you want to see, let me know. We'll get them on the show. I know that the next episode we will have resident artist / apprentice. What's Kelsey's title nowadays? Kelsey Mull, Unicorn Glitter Blaster. You can check her out soon at unicornglitterblaster.com, but she kind of drug her feet, so it's not ready yet. Does she have a title? She's a very hard-working, almost resident apprentice. I guess that's up to Tim Senecal to decide. So, like I said, we'll be talking with David Kassan and Gabriel Landis. I'll have Gabe back in just a few minutes. We'll do a little bit of network news with Josh Suchoza, who looks pretty awesome right now. Make sure you stick around for that. And then we'll bring David in. So we'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll talk with Gabe Landis and see what's up. See you in a minute.
At whatever stage you may be in your tattoo career, apprentice, experienced street shop tattooer, or fully custom artist, it's hard not to feel a little competitive in today's tattoo industry, with so many amazing artists working in all styles in virtually every corner of the world. But you can benefit right now by learning from the experience of the tattoo professionals who have dedicated themselves to education in this industry. I'm Guy Aitchison, and I've been teaching in the tattoo field for much of my 27 years in the trade, with most of my educational efforts being focused within my Reinventing the Tattoo platform, which has been an industry standard in education for nearly 2 decades. Reinventing was originally conceived as a series of seminars that I held at tattoo conventions, and its curriculum has been filled out and fine-tuned according to the needs of the artists attending these classes. It's now a massive standalone educational package which can be viewed on any kind of device in order to bring the answers you need right to your fingertips. The Reinventing the Tattoo curriculum is centered around a group of fundamental artistic principles of composition, including flow and fit on the body, contrast, positive-negative relationships, color theory, depth, and other concepts, which are framed in a way that is meant to be as useful as possible to working tattoo artists. The material then covers uses of reference imagery and digital tools in your design process, along with a review of alternate art forms such as oils and watercolors and how they can help refine your skills as a tattoo artist. The technical sections are as comprehensive as possible, covering everything from machines and other basic equipment to stenciling and working on various challenging parts of the body. Not only am I sharing everything useful that I know about these subjects, but I'm also enlisting the help of various top-name professionals, such as Russ Abbott, Nick Baxter, Megan Jean Morris, Phil Garcia, Halo Jankowski, and Don McDonald to share their own experience on these topics. You may have already read the book version of Reinventing the Tattoo. However, the new electronic edition has been seriously updated and expanded beyond the scope of the old book, including not only new chapters by myself and our guest writers, but also introducing a massive section on cover-up tattooing, including chapters on lasers and scar cover-ups, plus loads of new video footage to further illustrate the book's topics. Subscribers can look forward to seeing new material added regularly along with further updates to existing content as the Reinventing curriculum continues to expand and evolve. I'd like to invite you to drop by reinventingthetattoo.com to read more about what we have to offer in the Reinventing the Tattoo educational package. It's the biggest and most detailed teaching effort I've ever been involved with, and I'm completely confident that no matter where you stand in your tattoo career, it can help you to take your work to the next level.
What is a webinar? It's your chance to up your game and improve yourself with new techniques in art, in business, and tattooing. Webinars are streaming professional development seminars taught by the masters of their craft that you can watch in the comfort of your home, your studio, or even on the go on your mobile device. If you have a stable internet connection, you can stream a webinar. Here at Tattoo Now, we continually produce high-quality video presentations from top artists and business people. Our catalog includes hours of education from greats like Guy Aitchison, Bob Tyrell, DJ Betts, Jeff Gogway, Russ Abbott, James Kern, Tommy Helm, Ian McCowan, Kelly Doty, Rember Oriana, and more all the time. These professional artists share their years of experience to accelerate your path and help you become more successful. Fill up on high-octane brain fuel now with a Tattoo Now webinar. Do you want to bring your career to the next level? Then webinars from Tattoo Now can help you do that. Welcome back to Off the Map Live. I'm here with Mr. Gabriel Londis. What's happening, man?
How's it going?
It's going very well.
Good.
So you're a resident here at Off the Map?
I am.
How long now?
It's actually going to be a year tomorrow.
Oh, it's your anniversary.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I wish I knew that. I would have got you something. But you're not going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah,
You're going to be in Salem.
I'll be in Salem.
Where?
I'll be at Kelly Doty's shop, Helheim Gallery.
Formerly Gold Dust. I don't know what happened there.
Who knows?
So you're doing a guest spot down there? You got time open?
I have Wednesday open, Wednesday the 2nd.
So if there's anyone in the East Coast area that wants to get tattooed by Mr. Gabriel Landis on Wednesday, the 2nd of November, get a hold of Helheim Gallery or you directly?
Me, you can email me, gabriellandis@gmail.com.
All right, cool. We got that out of the way.
Cool.
You do a lot of guest spots?
I try to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have another one coming up, right, after that?
Yeah, I'll be in Grants Pass, Oregon, November 15th through the 21st.
Have you been there yet?
I have not. This will be my first time.
It's much different than this shop.
I bet. Almost every shop is different than this shop. This is a pretty unique place.
Yeah, why? Why do you think so?
The sheer amount of people we have and the level of organization to make it all work is pretty intense.
I would agree with that
Yeah.
wholeheartedly. So, what year did you start tattooing?
I guess it was 3 years ago.
See, I asked you what year because
16,
that way, when people hear this
15,
later,
14, 13?
it makes sense.
2013?
Oh, 2013.
Yeah.
What were you doing before that?
I was a social worker before that.
How did you make that transition?
It was hard. I quit doing social work. I learned to deal poker, and I dealt poker at night while I did my apprenticeship during the day.
So did your previous job skills, do they help you in your tattooing?
Absolutely. I think I would be kind of way behind the curve without learning all of my people stuff prior to tattooing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find people talk to you differently than they might other tattooers because you kind of have a way of talking with them?
Yeah, I think it's more my disposition than my words. I'm pretty quiet and I like to listen, so people tend to open up a little bit more because of that.
Is that ever strange?
It's always strange. I like people and I like talking and I like listening, but I hear a lot of weird things.
I'm not going to ask what the strangest thing is because I don't want to break anyone's privacy.
Yeah.
So did you have any art history at all in your background?
Yeah, so when I started school, I started as a fine arts major with a focus in painting and drawing. About halfway through, I shifted to psychology and sociology, and that's what I ended up with a degree in.
It's really strange how you went back and forth.
Yeah.
So why did you leave art originally?
I don't know that I left it. I just kind of followed my interest at the time. I was pretty young and I wanted to learn, and I didn't have a vision for art at that time. So,
Do you think you have a vision for art now?
yeah, it's kind of cool how I split from it, and that path led me directly back to what I do now.
So what do you do now?
I paint things and I draw things and I tattoo things.
Things. Can you be more
Yeah.
specific?
Right now, skulls and flowers. That's
Yep.
kind of what I'm into.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You paint a lot of skulls, I know that.
Mhm.
Tattoo a lot of skulls. You ever think
Yeah.
you'll get tired of it?
I don't know. I've been drawn to skulls since I was really little. Like, I can remember being drawn to them about 6 or 7, just loving everything about them.
I can completely relate to that.
Yeah. So I don't know that it's ever going to leave me. It might.
So you are predominantly a black and gray artist. Is that by design?
No, it just kind of happened that way. I think during my first guest spot here, I did an okay black and gray tattoo, and it just kind of took off from there. Prior to coming here for a guest spot, I did primarily color stuff. So,
Has it been good for you? Do you like it?
yeah, I love it. I don't know that I only want to do black and gray stuff because I love everything so much.
So you're looking to do more color stuff?
Yeah, I'm always down to take color projects.
Cool.
Yeah.
Note to front desk staff. Gabriel Landis wants to do more color work. That's cool. So you moved here from New Mexico.
Yep.
How's the change been from New Mexico to New England?
New England is a super beautiful place. I'm still a little worried about this winter. Last winter was kind of nice.
Last winter was a not normal winter.
Yeah, but the summer and fall were amazing. 0 complaints.
Cool. Yeah, this winter's probably going to be a little bit more brutal.
Yeah.
Get a nice coat, some gloves, a hat,
It snowed
some boots.
pretty harsh the other day. I mean, harsh for New Mexico standards.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
mild snow. 3-4 inches. It's not. Wait till we get 2 feet.
Right.
Then that'll change. So do you take seminars? Are you in education at all?
I love it. I take and listen to as many as I can.
Do you have any favorites that you've taken recently?
I did Jeff's seminar again recently. I forget the
Hold
title.
Fast?
Hold Fast, yeah. And I think that was the 3rd time I've done it. And every time I kind of get something different out of it.
Sure. He changes it a little bit every time, too.
Yeah.
He's always kind of tweaking and stuff like that.
So the seminars I'm enjoying the most are ones that are geared towards why I'm doing what I'm doing and helping develop kind of my mission,
Sure.
if that makes any sense.
Less technical based stuff, more overall kind of philosophy.
Yeah, what I'm getting out of technical stuff is actually sitting and watching people tattoo. It's one of the great things about Off the Map is we get so many awesome people in here that I can just sit all day and watch somebody tattoo, and that's what helps me more than listening to them talk about why they tattoo.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, last week we had, what, 7, 8 guest artists?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
British Invasion, and then Ron Earhart and Tony Mancia. That was pretty cool, huh?
That was awesome.
Although I was very thankful that the shop was calm today.
Yeah, Yeah, it's always interesting how the energy changes once everybody leaves.
Well, you know, a week at Paradise and a week of 8 guest artists,
Yeah.
it's just like full on. But I'm glad it's calm now. Today was good.
Yeah.
But we've got more guests rolling in at the end of the week, I think.
Yep.
But you're not going to be here. You're only gone for 2 days.
Yeah, just 2 days at the Helheim Gallery. Then I'll
So how
be
did you
back.
hook up with those guys?
Matt Driscoll's a good friend of Kelly's, and kind of through that.
How's their shop? Cool?
It's awesome. It's pretty small. It's really beautifully laid out, lots of art, and it works.
Cool.
Yeah.
Has Kelly been there while you've been there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's good to work with?
She's awesome. Everybody's super funny, very hospitable. It's good.
Right on. So where do you see your future?
I don't know. I want to continue learning and growing as much as I can, and I want to push my artistic boundaries as much as I can. So I'm just going to follow that road. Wherever that leads, I'm going to trust that that's where I'm supposed to be.
So you've only been tattooing for 3 years. What kind of challenges has that posed for you working in a shop as busy with so many amazing people around you?
It's definitely changed my focus. I can remember the first guest spot I did here, and just like, it was a whole new way of looking at things and looking at my time and how I spend it during a tattoo. And it just changed everything completely. It was awesome.
It's been good.
Yeah.
I know when you first started working here, you weren't sleeping much.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's still the thing.
Hasn't changed?
It hasn't changed. There's so much to do and always so little time to do it in.
So how do you deal with that? You just don't sleep?
Just don't sleep.
How's your wife deal with that?
She sleeps. She just says, I'm going to bed, and that's that.
So how often do you think you spend in a day working on art? Whether it be tattooing or drawing for a tattoo, painting,
Most of the days, I think I average like 4 to 6 hours of sleep per night.
and the rest of the time is creating artwork?
Yeah. Or prepping stuff for art. A lot of prep time involved for me.
Like what?
Or there's prepping a painting, canvases, designing a tattoo, laying things out, doing thumbnails, all of those things.
Where do you pull your references from?
I've been trying to take my own reference photos. So this year I bought a couple of real skulls, and then I have a bunch of replica skulls. So kind of the photos that you're seeing now, that's one of my skulls. That's actually Matt
Nice.
Driscoll's skull.
I recognize that one because
Yeah.
it's on my shoulder.
So him and I, we did a little photo shoot a couple months ago. We're actually
Yeah.
getting ready to do another one.
Do you have new skulls?
No, just different angles and lighting.
Have you noticed that they took them all off eBay?
Yeah,
Bastards. That was my secret skull reference treasure trove.
yeah,
But now they're not allowed to sell them on there anymore. Somebody got upset.
yeah.
Someone's grandma got sold and they weren't happy, I guess.
It's tough. It's tough buying real skulls. It's a weird business.
Yeah? Why?
Different states have different laws, and I don't know. It's just a weird thing owning another human's bones.
How does it make you feel when you have someone else's head in your hand?
I feel oddly responsible for taking care of it and representing it in a beautiful way, which I think I do. I like it. I like painting them.
Was it weird
Tattooing them.
ever? Like, holy crap, this had a brain in it once.
It's not weird like that. It's just, it's cool, I think. I like it. I like going into my house and seeing all the skulls there. It's like oddly comforting. I don't know if that's super creepy or not, but
It's totally creepy.
that's how I feel.
I just got a flashback of like a Paul Booth interview. All the things looking at me from my jars. No, I know it's not creepy. Actually, your house is really nicely decorated. It's not a creepy serial killer cave. So have you ever met David before?
David
Kassan?
I have not, and I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully one day I get to do a painting seminar of his. That would be awesome.
He is going to be doing a drawing seminar here.
Yeah, I will definitely be doing that.
Me too. We will be back in just a few minutes with the network news, and then Gabe and I will both be back to speak with David.
Cool.
So after these messages, we'll be here with Josh Suchoza and the network news, and I'll see you on the other side of that.
tattoo artists are power creators, not power administrators. Save time, money, and trees with Tattoo Release Forms app. Your client will photo his ID, enter personal information, information about the tattoo, health information, initial legal clauses, and sign his name. When the client is finished, you can make session notes and choose inks and needles from the most popular brands and configurations. Preview the form, sign it, and hit upload. The form lands on a secure cloud in seconds as a printable PDF. If you're at a convention or without Wi-Fi, TRF will automatically upload the forms next time you're online. Return clients can simply search for themselves, check to make sure all the information is correct, and sign again. Done in seconds. Download Tattoo Release Forms app from the Apple App Store for free and enjoy 25 free forms. Also available in the UK, Canada, and Australia.
This is Tattoo Now Network News.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Josh, and this is the Network News. I'm gonna usually start out by talking about some stupid holiday, but it's Halloween, so I can't disrespect Halloween. So happy Halloween, which also is Increase Your Psychic Powers Day. Do you know, there it is, Ben, my stupid holiday for the day.
There's another one.
No, I mean, it's Psychic Powers Day. I was gonna say something super witty about it, but I think you already knew that. Also, it's Vanilla Ice's birthday. How about that? So happy birthday, Vanilla Ice. This was a man that was a musical genius, or is a musical genius. He was way ahead of his time and quite possibly the greatest MC that has ever lived. He had great lyrics such as Smooth, because that's the way I will be, and if you don't give a damn, then why are you staring at me? He surely is an inspiration to artists all over the world. Right, Gabe? Gabriel Londis, heavily influenced by Vanilla Ice. Anyway, let's go to actual Tattoo Now Network news. Melissa Ferranto, I hope I pronounced that right, is giving an impact marketing and business workshop for tattooers. These seminars are great because as artists, we spend a lot of our energy on art and tend to forget about the other stuff. But that's good too. Anyway, this workshop will be held Tuesday, October 29th at 1 p.m. in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and you can visit melissaferranto.com for more inspiration and information. I like that. Also, with a little bit more notice, Jose Perez Jr. is going to be giving a Black and Gray seminar in June 11th, 2017 in Toronto at the Northern Ink Exposure Show. Yeah, there's a lot of notice, so there's no reason not to go. Because I've been in Jose's seminar. You've been in his seminar. Well, Ben, he's right behind the camera, not you guys. Gabe, you were there, and it's awesome. It's one of my favorite seminars, and I've taken a bunch. So yeah, you can go to jpjtattoos.com to check the information out on that one, and schedule your plans for Toronto, which is also a great convention to visit. Let's see, what else do we have? Winter is coming. Little Game of Thrones reference, which is also a great time to get a tattoo. And if you go to cap1tattoos.com, they just posted a blog about the benefits of getting your tattoo in the winter. Which is nice. Also, if you're looking to move or relocate to a new studio, we have a variety of tattoo studios all over the country with artist positions available. If you go to the classification section of tattoonow.com, you can check them all out. There are a bunch on there. And that's all I have. So,
Charity Day.
Charity Day is coming as well.
It is.
You
know anything about it?
I know some things about it. November 13th, which is a Sunday here at Off the Map, we are doing our annual charity tattoo event day. All the proceeds are going to benefit the Hitchcock Center for the Environment. And we have tons of flash. All the artists here that are working that day made some stuff.
How much was a tattoo?
They're $50, Ben. The tattoos are $50 that day. Gabe made Flash.
Ouch.
It is so huge. They're really awesome. So Gabe will tattoo those for you. So yeah, check out, we have an event page on Facebook you can check out, and we're posting all the Flash up there as it comes through. So check it out. I'm gonna throw the microphone back to Ben, and I think Gabe's coming back up, and we're gonna talk to David. So let's roll some commercials.
My name is BJ Betts. Thank everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. My love for lettering has been like way before I even started tattooing. I'll try and like keep it a little simple as far as like terminology for fonts and lettering, because I'm going to cover everything that I can, I guess, cover. And yeah, I guess I'll take it from here.
Give me 2 good wheels and give me 1 good eye. Give me wide open spaces and clear blue skies. 2 wheels and I'm never alone. A tank full of gas and I may never come home.
So I approach things in a pretty simple manner. When I'm laying out lettering, this is what I do. I start with a real loose sketch and just go on from there.
So all winter long, they ate canned soup, pickles from a jar, yeah, you know it's the truth. Yeah. So when town's too crowded to breathe, and the air's so hot that you just can't.
I like to make everything flow together as much as possible. So let's say I have, I don't know, maybe a T and an H, for example. There's a few things that we can do. You know, obviously we can just make it like that. Yeah, it's cool, kind of boring, but I mean, you know what it is still. Maybe bring that H, if it's the end of the word, maybe. You can, you know, bring that H down, loop it around, and then maybe you can bring that H back over, and now you got that. Yeah, I think that works a lot better than this. It looks cool. You can still play around with it a little bit, clean everything up. Boom, now everybody's happier, and you get to do something cooler.
Hey, we're back. Hey, Gabe.
How's it going?
Did you watch the news?
I did.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, David. Can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. You're in your studio? Yes?
Yep.
What do you got going on there behind me, behind you?
Just a painting I'm working on.
Just a painting. Cool.
Hey, this one.
So for some folks that are watching that might not know your history, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Brooklyn-based painter. I've been painting for about 20 years now. Graduated, I guess, 17 years ago from college and moved to New York City, to Brooklyn, and I've been here ever since. Pretty much got into a gallery as soon as I moved here, and I've been showing with the same gallery for 17 years. So just doing mostly large figurative paintings, all life size, like the painting behind me.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Syracuse University
Were you
for illustration.
Oh, okay. Where did the painting come in?
Yeah, it's crazy. I went into the gallery once looking for another artist's work, and had some illustrations with me, and they liked what I had in my backpack. I just had some paintings to show, and kind of went on that track instead of illustration. I was doing some magazine covers at one point, and I didn't really like that so much because it was more like a service industry where I had to like do exactly what the art director wanted me to do. So I wanted to switch up gears and actually focus on painting the things that I wanted to paint. So the gallery thing I started with cityscape, And then I used the time that I was in there to kind of go back to school and learn how to paint the figure. Mostly working from life every day for pretty much like 9 to 5. Every day is like my job was to go to school and just study life painting, and did that for about 5 or 6 years, and moved all the paintings that I was doing at the gallery from the cityscapes to figurative work. And now I'm just completely figurative, pretty much. With I like a lot of texture and letter forms within my paintings. You can see on the screen.
What I noticed a lot of your paintings have extreme textures. You're not, you're painting real people with real wrinkles and stuff like that. You're not painting models and super smooth. What draws you to that style?
Yeah, like right now, I'm more of a social realist when it comes to painting. So the people that I paint are pretty important. I didn't used to be that way when I started in my career. The gallery wanted me painting mostly for collectors to purchase and hang in their homes. And then I kind of moved away from that. I want to make pieces that are more for museums and for public view. So the people have to have really interesting stories so that they can, this is a painting. So they're very personal paintings. This is a painting of my father. The other paintings were of my mom. So the idea is that I could be doing these pieces that people are buying, but they're collecting me and my work and the time that I've put into something, as opposed to something that's going to look good with their couch, or I was at one point doing like young, pretty attractive girls mostly. And it kind of got a little boring after a while. It's funny. Everyone used to call me like the painter of young, pretty girls. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, so that kind of irked me a little bit. And now I think everyone calls me the guy who paints old people, which is kind of funny, So it's you kind of like choose your which way you want to go, I guess. I do both. You know what I mean? I can paint anything pretty much I want to if I put my mind to it. So the series that I'm working on right now are based around these survivors of the Shoah, which is on the screen right now, which is a new project I'm kind of looking for funding for so that I can go travel around the world and collect people's stories, as well as pull them together to be an exhibition for museums. And this is Sam. So he was a survivor of Auschwitz, and he's on the screen. He was just on view at the National Portrait Gallery in London and a few other museums there in the UK. So he traveled around for a little bit. And he just made it back to New York, I think, like maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
So you mentioned you're looking for funding for your new project. We can get to that, but I got a question for you. Is painting for yourself? How do you make a living if you're, not making art directly to sell at the gallery? Is it difficult?
Yeah. I think that it's a strange phenomenon, I think, within the fine art world. I think that the work that's more personal, people buy into it more as almost a cult of personality, and that they actually believe in how well a painting is painted, as well as the story that's behind it, as opposed to, like, I feel like there's different circles of realism or painting. Like, if you go to Art Miami Basel, you'll see some stuff that's very risky subjects that are made to be collected by collectors. Like, be someone that paints something about, like, nuclear waste or toxic waste, and that's their thing that they do, or feminine issues or some type of thing. They'll do like sculptures that are based around that, and that's more work that's for like higher end collectors. Like, people aren't buying that to go over their couch. Now, realism gets kind of a bad rap in a way where it's so traditional. People who can't afford like a Sargent painting will go out and look for a painting that looks like it's done by a Sargent type person that's more affordable by a living artist. So that's like almost turns into work that becomes more decorative, where it's made to be put in like a couch or over a couch or in someone's like living room, or like pieces that aren't going to challenge anybody.
Right.
I've been lucky that people have been wanting to collect my work because of they care about what I think within painting, as opposed to wanting to decorate their homes with my work. So I probably could make more money if I did. Well, Actually, I gotta think about that. I think my work's value has really improved over the last like maybe 10 years. And I think that with really thoughtful, meaningful work, you can get a higher price for it than you can more decorative work. You know, the paintings just have a weight to them, as opposed to something that's flimsy that is made just to be decorative. You know, so I think that's kind of what I want to infuse with my work, is that meaning and that weight. And I think if I do that well enough, people will want to buy it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's cool, man. You were recently at the Venetian Tattoo Gathering, mixed in with a bunch of tattooers.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Oh, it's great. Really great. I think that people who really appreciate drawing, is like tattoo artists, really appreciate drawing and painting. Now, I think that a lot of my friends have gotten into tattoos. They couldn't afford to go to an art school or something, and now they're making good money that they're taking classes to learn how to paint and draw more. And it's an insane art form. The stuff that happens. Like, I got to judge one of the competitions, I guess, and it was fine art on one side with tattooing. So I think we all combined it all together, and then we picked like the best pieces. And it was insane what some people could do in like 3 hours or 4 hours, like on skin. You know, and I've tried it, and I have a ton of respect for tattoo artists because it's really hard. You know, I've given 2 tattoos in my life.
You've tried it? How was that experience?
It was good. I went to a friend of mine in Italy has a shop right outside of Florence in Montecatini, and he had me over for I think for the weekend, and I got to tattoo on some guy for about 6-7 hours. So I used his shop and all his stuff, and he told me like, there's so many things that you have to think about, you know, like the keeping it clean, pulling the skin at the same time that you're wiping away the ink that you've just put in and the blood, and then it's just so many things to think about. Almost like you're doing surgery in a way and art at the same time. That it was interesting. It was super challenging. I'm so used to just a paintbrush and paint, which is so much easier. And the canvas never gets upset or is about to faint, or you have to be. I feel like you also have to be a little bit of a therapist a little bit for giving people tattoos. I know the ones I've gotten, I've been like a big baby. And people have been like, "Oh no, it'll be okay. Don't feel bad," you know. So it's there's a lot that goes into it. That having to deal with people that you're creating artwork on, I feel is something that painters can learn from. You know.
Sure, and you can't scrape the ink off somebody once you put it on. You know, like it's not like an oil painting where you can say "fuck" and scrape it all off. You know.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So it's like painting is so forgiving of a medium. Same with charcoal. Like I can just wipe it down and work on top of it, or erase it out, or just put another layer of oil on top and fix it till I get it right. Everything's so permanent and so delicate with the tattooing. It's hard to do that. So I don't know if I'd be a very good tattoo artist, but it's something I want to learn though. Definitely.
You want to learn it?
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you actually have any concrete plans to try to do that?
I got a machine like a year and a half ago, and some inks. I got to find some victims. I mean, people.
I highly recommend taking a bloodborne pathogens course before you find too many victims.
Okay. Well, it's hot.
So you mentioned charcoal drawing. You do a lot of drawing. Why is that important in the work that you do?
Yeah, I think that for preparatory studies and everything. This was a demo I gave in San Antonio, I think like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and that's my buddy Tony who posed. Just drawing in general is the tonality of it, trying to find the lights and darks and the value shifts. Within drawing is super valuable, especially working from life, because you have a greater understanding of how form turns and how edges turn as well, which I think is probably pretty valuable for tattooing as well as painting. but this idea of creating atmosphere within the artwork that you're creating, based on the different slopes and edges. So what that is that as a slope goes back into space, an edge, like within the contour, like this is a contour of my face, there's different edges that have different qualities to them as the contours move into space. And so understanding where an edge kind of drops off completely versus an edge that's more gradual, what does that do? Does it make it harder or softer? And understanding those the degrees at what that happens and what that does helps us to really create more sense of atmosphere, where you can kind of put your hand into the painting and into the drawing, so you get that air within the piece, which I think is something that I've seen in a lot of tattoo artists that have studied a lot of drawing, like my friend Sergio Sanchez. I don't know if you guys know his work at all. He's a California-based black and gray guy. Yeah, he does some amazing stuff, and he studied classical painting and drawing for a really long time. I think he started out as a tattoo artist and then moved into figure drawing and painting, and then went back to tattooing, and that knowledge really stuck, and I think it's made him really exceptional.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude and a great painter and a really great tattooer. He's a sweet guy. He's a really talented artist. So he's really good people. You're going to be teaching with us here at Off the Map. You're right. You're going to be doing a drawing workshop.
Yeah, we're going to do a drawing workshop. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's a 2-day workshop where we're going to do. I'm going to demo for 3 hours in the first. Well, basically, when I do my workshops, I demo in the mornings for about 3 hours, and so I'll get 6 hours into a sketch, which will show you guys kind of the finish, and then every afternoon you guys will draw from the same model. So you guys will get 6 hours of drawing time within the model as well. So it'll be and with me walking around the room, basically saying, "Don't do that, do that," or "That looks great," or "That looks like shit." Just so that you guys can have an understanding of the entire process. And I think we're selling tickets for just the demo as well in the mornings, or you can do the setup where you actually get to draw with me, which is going to be great.
Yeah, we've got a URL set up right now, offthemaptattoo.com/Kassan. Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
It's Kassan.
Kassan. So
love it. It's been really funny with that. People, about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I was at an art opening at a group show, and I went to go look at my painting on the wall, and this woman next to me goes, "Oh, what do you think of the Kassan painting?" And I turned to her and I'm like, "Well, I think it's Kassan." And she goes, No, it's Kassan. I know him."
Oh shit.
I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, "Okay." That's cool. Thanks.
So I've pronounced it both ways, and I hear so many people pronounce it both ways. I probably should have just asked you at the beginning, but
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
So tell me more about your current project. It seems like a really important project, and tell me what you're trying to do with it.
Yeah, so my grandfather escaped ethnic cleansing in the border of Romania and the Ukraine in 1917, and so this is kind of a project that I'm taking on as a way to kind of keep his story alive, as well as try to understand what he went through. And so I'm painting survivors of the Shoah, which is the Holocaust. And so we're losing them almost like daily because of they're just getting older. So a lot of the people that we're meeting, I'm going through a lot of organizations like the Museum of Tolerance in LA. The museum, it's funny, there's a Museum of Tolerance in LA, and then in Albuquerque, there's a Museum of Intolerance, which is kind of interesting, where they talk about all the genocides that have happened and everything. And so we've been reaching out through those organizations to find survivors that I can meet up with, and we're filming interviews with them, as well as I'm shooting photographs of them to do life-size figurative paintings that you guys are seeing on the screen right now. So the whole idea is that the painting, I try to paint as lifelike as possible. The texture of the skin, the translucency of the skin. I want them to have blood and to be really living and in your face when you come up to the painting. So they're not ordinary portraits. They're more confrontational. They're a little bit challenging, and I want all of the subjects to have a strength within the pieces. And so far I've finished 3 of them, and we just flew out to Albuquerque to. I have a house in Albuquerque, New Mexico, also. And we know some survivors there, and we filmed 3 survivor interviews and shot reference for two new paintings I'm going to start working on. So right now I'm working on about 8 paintings altogether. I've finished 3 of 4 survivors, and it's really interesting to see everything that people have gone through during this time. We're trying to get a 360-degree view of the Holocaust in a way of people that have witnessed it. So the project's called the Adut Project, which means the living witness. It's Hebrew for living witness. And so, like, Sam was a survivor of Auschwitz. The women that were in the piece earlier that you saw that were interlocked, they were twins that were survivors that during the occupation of Warsaw, and they were 12 years old. And so they went into hiding. Yeah, these guys, this is Bella and her sister Rosalind. So they're fraternal twins, and they got separated, and one went with a German family and one went with a Catholic family. And we tell their entire story of how they escaped and basically were hiding out the whole time away from their mom when they're only 12 years old. It's a lot of times we're talking to like the real live Anne Frank, which is it's kind of a way of history to come alive a little bit more so than what we hear about with the Holocaust. And it's become such an abstract thing that it just breeds indifference now, because a lot of people don't really know much about World War II and what had happened, and now there's even Holocaust deniers out there which say that it never did happen. So this is a way that we can kind of put it in the consciousness and put a personal face on what people live through. And a lot of it's more about what they lived through after. So this idea that they escaped and Sam was 16 years old when he made it to America with his brother, and they didn't even speak any English at all. And so they're stuck in America and not understanding English to figure out how to survive again, all by themselves, not having any, having lost his mom, his father, and a number of uncles and aunts and everything, and then being pushed into a strange country as well. And it's incredible to hear how inspiring these stories are. It really makes you not really complain about anything in your life, when you see what other people have gone through, and what they've done.
Have any of your subjects been reluctant to be photographed or to be painted because of things?
Yeah, a lot of it's really funny there. Well, not really that funny, but the woman that set off this whole, I don't do portrait commissions at all, and I was asked by a guy from Israel to paint his mother-in-law, and I was like, oh, that's really nice, but I don't do commissions because I want my paintings to be as pure as possible, and I don't want to be told to do a portrait with their favorite things in their painting, and I'm just not good at portrait commissions at all. And so I was telling him that I didn't really want to do it, and I appreciated him asking me. And then he said, oh, my mother-in-law is a survivor of the Shoah. And I was like, wow, I'll paint her. That would be amazing. And so then he went back to her, and she didn't want to be photographed for the painting. And so we, in fact, I think the gallery just talked to them again, and he was interested again, but then she again put the kibosh on it. And that was also something that kind of launched this idea of the series for me about 2.5 years ago.
It's really amazing. Christian Perez, one of my tattooer painter friends, he's a great painter. I don't know if you know him or not. He's watching right now, and he just wants to say he's a huge fan of your work, and he'd like to know if you prefer to paint live models or from photo reference.
I prefer dead models because they don't move. But no,
boom, boom.
It's Halloween. Sorry.
No, it's great.
Yeah, I like both. I've learned a lot from both. I like working from the live model, but it's very limiting. I can't paint any of these subjects that I'm working on from life because they're in their 90s and late 80s, and so they can't really sit for me. And this is a painting actually on here that I did from life. It's Jace, and she's 86, and she was a live art model. And we had problems with her in the studio, like falling asleep during the sessions. So we had to do 2-hour sessions instead of usual like 6-hour sessions in a day. And so I did a film documentary on painting her, a DVD that I put out, where we interview her every hour as we're painting. And that was tough. No, but also, and photo reference is great because I can paint all night. Like after the interview, I'm going to go into the studio and work on another painting from photo reference. But I think that you have to have a balance of working from life to understand how to use a photograph correctly so that you can understand how form turns conceptually based on life. And then the thing I'm learning right now is how to get better photos and reference to work from when I do use photography to paint from, so that I understand, I can see better color. A lot of color references that I've noticed that people that do use photography tend to use just bad photography to paint from. They're not necessarily bad painters, but they just choose the worst reference to use and to paint from. It's something that it's funny. I have an online site that I teach mentoring through. It's called artcritacademy.com. And we mentor students throughout 3 months. They're subscription based, and every month we do critiques. And that's like the number one thing is the reference that people are using to paint from. And we're diagnosing how to use better reference.
Who else is involved?
It's me and my fiance Shayna is involved, and we also have a guy who is in London that's a paint medium expert. This guy David Corcoran, he has his own paint mediums, and then we're having visiting artists come in every month also for the program. Like we just had Mario Robinson, who's a watercolorist. We have John Nava, who's a figurative painter from LA. It's basically all my figurative painter buddies are coming in and giving presentations on their career and what they do. And then every month we critique. We have a drawing path and a painting path, and we actually have a number of tattoo artists that are in the program right now, which is pretty awesome. So we have like a diverse group of people from pretty much all over the world. We have people in Australia, we have a person in Israel, India, and all across the United States. Because online education is awesome because you can really reach out and have live conversations with people. We're using Adobe Connect, which is what a lot of the universities use to bring up artwork and talk live with the person and have an interaction with them for a critique usually about 10 to 15 minutes on the painting that they supply every month. And I do paint overs in Photoshop to talk about edges and how this color could be more unified or how your lights should be better. It's a very cool program that we have running right now, but it's all stuff that supplements working from life. And I think that 6 years I had of training at the Art Students League here in New York was invaluable to how I paint as an artist.
So what was that website again? So if people are curious.
Yeah, it's Art Crit Academy. So ARTCRIT Academy, ACADEMY.com. I can write it.
I'll put it on the screen in the edit. So
okay, cool,
anyone
man.
who watches the rerun will be able to get it. So this is Gabe Landis. I don't know if you've met Gabe or not.
Hey, man.
Gabe is an aspiring painter. Do you have any advice for someone who's looking to maybe expand what they do with their painting? Someone like, you got any questions for Mr. David?
Yeah, so
Kassan?
I love that. I think the advice if tattooers have a huge advantage over most people because you guys travel in packs in a lot of cases, right? So you guys have other artists that you're working with like nonstop, right? So, and also you guys usually have a shop. So you guys can do like once a week or twice a week drawing sessions in your shop. you know, with other artists that are all like-minded. And so what's cool is that I think people get better when they all work together to find out ideas together in a way. So like for me, I'm like alone kind of as an artist, or have been, and I'll go off into the internet and find artists that I like and that I enjoy. If you have like 5 or 6 artists that are going out and finding what they have, bringing it to the group and collaborating in that way, you have like 5 or 6 people doing that. So you get more information a lot faster. So I think that that's a huge advantage. And the idea that I've had tattoo artists take my classes and then they want to hire me to come to their shop and do workshops, you know, because they have space. You know, a lot of people who are painting at home, they don't have that interaction. So I think that that's something to find other like-minded artists in your area and all kind of group together and collaborate. I think is huge.
Do you ever have a time in a painting when you're like, this looks terrible, and you have to get through it, or are you beyond that?
Yeah, you know what it is? I'm a very insecure painter and draftsman, but I'm very confident that I'll get it right. So I like embrace that insecurity. Like I'm not a guy who would just be like, yeah, you know, I'm fucking awesome. You know, like, have you seen my work? I'm incredible. And, you know, and I never have a bad day. I'm like amazing. Every brushstroke's incredible and it's perfect. Like that's not me. Like I have to fight through it, you know, and I fought so hard to be able to understand what I do within painting that, but I'm extremely confident in what I can do, you know, and what I can paint. So it helps me bite off a lot more than I can chew, if that makes any sense, the confidence.
It does. I mean, you put yourself in a challenging situation and, you know, because of your confidence, and it just makes you better. So the next time you do it, you're better at that. And if you keep challenging yourself, you're only going to get better.
Yeah. And another thing that's really important, I think, is always to handle your weaknesses face on. If you handle your weaknesses face on, like I used to be really shitty at painting hands. So I told myself I'm going to paint hands for a year until I understand hands. And then so when hands become your strength, then you're like, okay, well, the way I paint eyes is really crappy now. That used to be a strength. So now I'm going to handle eyes and get better at painting eyes or skin texture. So then you're shaving off all of your weaknesses and turning them into strengths, and you're pushing yourself ahead that way.
Cool. Hey, well, I really appreciate you talking with me this evening. It's been good.
Yeah, cool hat, man. Where'd you get that?
Which, this?
Yeah, do you even know what hat you're wearing? There's like, what did I wear today? It's Monday.
Oh, this is from Black Anchor. It's Nico Hurtado's shop.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got it from Nico.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit him up on Instagram right now. Hopefully he'll remember me.
I'm sure he will remember you. Good luck, man. You're better off just texting him because he's terrible on social media. Or no, wait till like 4 o'clock in the morning, California time, and chances are he'll be on Instagram.
I don't think I have his text message. I'm not that tight with him, but I'll have you text him for me, maybe.
I'll send you his phone number.
Okay, that's cool. Just post it on the edge.
Yeah, I'll put his cell number right on the screen, right? No.
That's great. He's a super talented artist.
Yeah, his brother is a pretty amazing painter.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt's great.
Totally.
Yeah, I've wanted to buy a few of his pieces. I haven't had the money though.
Maybe you could work out a trade.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right,
Awesome.
man, well, I hope to talk to you again soon. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I'll talk to you and Jay when I'm up there.
Right, cool, man. Enjoy the rest of your Halloween.
Yeah, have a good one, man. Cheers.
All right, take it easy.
See ya.
David Kassan, everybody. I've been fucking his name up for months. Gabe, thanks for being such a talkative co-host.
You're welcome. I'm here for moral support.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the interview?
It was awesome. It was very insightful, and he's super brilliant.
He's great. I'm really looking forward to his workshop he's doing with us. And if you are interested, you can go to offthemaptattoo.com/Kassan, Kassan. Check it out for yourself. That's it. if you like what you saw, please comment. If you're listening to the podcast and you like what you heard, comment, rate, share it with your friends. We're available on YouTube. We're also available on the iTunes store. We are available as video and audio podcast. And you can get us on your local cable access station. If you don't see it late at night, call them up. Tell them that they can get it for free. We subsidize it out to anyone who wants it. So if you want it in your hometown, call your local cable access channel and tell them you want Off the Map Live on your television. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gabe.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next week with Kelsey Mull and a to-be-announced other guest. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Ben. This is Off the Map Live. See ya.
See ya.
Fuck your beard.